Namaste. Thank you for such a beautiful story, part of the story again. Um, yeah, I'm enthralled by the original story of Ram, Sita, Hanuman, and Hanuman being the embodiment of unconditional love. And I've been, since my kids were little, I've been telling them the story, right? And when they were little, they were wowed by it and they loved it. And my little son, when he was 4 or 5, he loved the story of Hanuman being the son of the god of wind and all that. But now they're teenagers and they're cynical. So when I do the Diwali rituals and I say, okay, let's go over the story again, what's the moral? They're like, Mom, it's just a story, leave it. We don't want to do it anymore. So how does one in this day and age instill that concept of devotion, complete devotion like Hanuman had for Ram and Sita, in this totally digital generation? Like you said, we need to tell young people to, it's all about love. But then a large part of the younger generation is totally disconnected. And when I can't enforce it as a mother, it's too much. They step back or they run away. So I'm just wondering if you have any tips on that. Like, how do we, in a beautiful and soft manner, can still tell this beautiful story and inspire that devotion in children or teenagers?
You asked a very important question, and it's something that I have reflected on a lot, because some years ago we shifted our work from doing interfaith, which is how we started, to working with young people, young in their 30s mostly, late 20s, who were very disturbed about their future. I mean, the climate crisis, who is it going to hit most? It's young people today. And the fact, a lot of young people are choosing not to bring children into this world. They're saying, what kind of future can I offer these children? And when I was younger, I found that there was a real divide between the spiritual community and the ecological, environmental community. That's not true today. A lot of the young people who are doing environmental work realize two things. One is that they're going to get burnt out because the work is so huge, that if they don't have a grounding practice, a spiritual practice, they're going to fall into despair. And the other thing is they can be more effective. They can have a much greater impact if they draw upon their spiritual resources. So that has been our particular niche, is looking for people who are really concerned about the state of the world, but who understand the need for a spiritual practice. I have found with the young people, you have to speak to them in terms of nature, falling in love with nature again, connecting with nature, which is why Sita is such a perfect archetype, actually. That question came up in the first session. What's her archetype for today? For young people, she's of the earth. She was born with this love for the earth. I mean, the stories of her with the animals and the plants, and that resonates with young people. So forget the bigger picture or the traditional narrative. It's helping young people develop that consciousness that was prevalent at that time, a consciousness of the Treta Yuga that we've lost, where we don't see a separation. We don't see it's us versus the whole natural world, and that we're superior, and that we have the right to take whatever we desire from the natural world. Changing that narrative is critical, and that's part of what is needed for evolution now, changing the narrative that we are superior beings who could take whatever we want, regardless of the consequences. I mean, how many millions of species are going extinct? We act like it doesn't even matter. We're polluting the seas. I mean, I just read about my home in New York. There's a nuclear power plant that was shut down, but they're going to release a million tons or whatever of radioactive water into the river. Nobody's talking about the fish life. What's it going to do to the fish life? They've spent so many years cleaning up that river, and now they're going to release this millions of gallons, it is, I guess, of toxic water to the river. Until we can change that consciousness, and it's the young people because it's their future. It's their future. And they want a clean world. They want to have clean water. They want to have clean air. They don't want to have all these toxins in their body. And in order for them not to get totally discouraged and depressed, they need spiritual practice. And they need to awaken this love for the natural world. And so however we can communicate them, whether it's through the traditional stories or new ways, but this is why I find the Sita story so relevant today and her presence so active, because it is this love for the natural world that she's trying to awaken in us.
Thank you.